At upang for the sake of transparency and accountability, I would suggest the House to remove. Ako na mismo ang sponsor ng budget na ito. I would suggest that the House remove the confidential fund of the Ombudsman.
Ano po bang sinabmit ang Office of the Ombudsman in relation to the use of their confidential funds as required by the Joint Circular 2015-01?
Actually, Mr. Speaker, that it's not necessarily a resibo. Pero ito'y tinatawag nating acknowledgement receipts or reimbursement reports. Ang confidential fund, it is up to us para hindi na ma-question pa ang ombudsman during his term of office. Sabi niya, tanggalin na lang yung confidential fund.
88.778 million na sinabi naman ay na-disperse na, na-obligate at na-disperse na o na-liquidate na. At ngayong taon na to, meron na namang 31 million na confidential fund. For the next year, meron na naman pong 51.468 million na confidential funds.
Confidential funds, Mr.
Sure.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sabi po ni Ombudsman Martires, mula po nang ako'y maging ombudsman, wala pong nagsabi sa akin na mag-submit po kami ng resibo dahil paano ko po re-resibuhan ang isang intelligence officer na sinuyo ko tignan ng isang bagay or isang kaso. Anong resibo ang lalagay ko roon? Paano ililiquidate sa akin ng intel officer? So, ang sinabi po ni Justice Martires, mula nang siya'y maging ombudsman, walang nagsabi sa kanya na mag-submit ng resibo. Tama po ba, Mr. Speaker? Ginoong sponsor.
Speaker, tama yung sinabi ng ombudsman. Although, hindi po yung full statement, Mr. Speaker. Sapagkat ang iba naman, for example, like yung mga transportation expenses, they are all properly liquidated. So, hindi lahat ng paggamit ng confidential fund ay walang resibo or walang liquidation, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, kailan po naging ombudsman si Justice Martires?
2018, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, at that time, Justice Martires became the Ombudsman of the Philippines. Yun din yung Joint Circular number 2015-01 of COA, DBM, DILG, and DND. Kumbaga, in effect na siya kasi 2015. Diba? Yung Joint Circular number 2015-01, ito po yung guidelines. No? So, Mr. Speaker, alam niya ito. Mr. Speaker, familiar siya dito.
Yes, yes. Siya po ay pamilyar.
Pero Mr. Speaker, based po sa statement made by the Justice, wala pong nagsabi sa kanya na mag-submit ng resibo at kung paano magliliquidate sa kanya ang intel officer. Meron po bang sinabmit ang Office of the Ombudsman in relation to the use of their confidential funds as required by the Joint Circular 2015-01?
Actually, Mr. Speaker, that it's not necessarily a resibo. Pero ito'y tinatawag nating acknowledgement receipts or reimbursement reports.
Mr. Speaker, reimbursement report ang sinabmit niya. Ano-ano po ang mga sinabmit niya? Sang-ayon sa Joint Circular 2015-01.
Okay, nakalagay po dito sa circular, joint circular, ang sabi po dito, and I quote, disbursement from CF shall be supported with documentary evidence of payment, among others, which shall be submitted to the ICFAU in a sealed envelope signed by the SDO.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, ang tinatanong ko po, ano ang sinabmit? Sang-ayon sa guidelines.
The Ombudsman submitted certifications and anyone that would like to question how it is being used can go directly to the Ombudsman. And they will be able to tell them, honestly, kung paano ginamit itong confidential fund na ito. Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, gusto lang po naming klaruhin yung bagay na ito sapagkat nakakabahala yung naging statement ng Ombudsman kung paano liliquidate o reresibuhan ang kanilang intelligence officers when Joint Circular 2015-01 specifically gives out the guidelines for such liquidation and even requires the national government agencies to submit regular reports on the use of confidential funds or expenses. So, klaro naman po, Mr. Speaker, di ba? Kailangan mag-submit, may guideline kung paano mag-submit, and under the procedural guidelines of Joint Circular 2015-01, it is required that quarterly accomplishment reports for confidential funds be submitted. So, ito po ba yung sinasabi niyong reimbursement report? Anyway, Mr. Speaker, submitted by national government agencies to the President of the Philippines, the Speaker of the House, and to the Department Secretary. Under 6.2 on liquidation of cash advance, it is required that a liquidation report is required to be submitted along with supporting documents.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, ito, hawak-hawak ko po itong, hindi naman po ito resibo kundi hawak-hawak ko yung ina-account, yung tinatawag nating documentary evidence. So therefore, kung mayroon documentary evidence na sinasubmit that is actually in a sealed envelope, ay palagay ko ito po ay tama na, no? Sapagkat meron namang documentary evidence, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, kasi the term confidential does not mean that the concerned government officer's expenses will not be tracked. Kaya nga po meron tayong ganyan, di ba? Mr. Speaker, tungkol dito sa confidential funds, notable po na tumaas ito patungong 51.4 million sa susunod na taon. During the previous committee hearing, binanggit na hindi naman obligado umano ang Office of the Ombudsman na magsagawa ng lifestyle checks sa mga pampublikong opisyal. Mr. Speaker, ngayon sa mga increase na ito ng confidential fund, non-disclosure of SALN, and the non-proactive attitude towards lifestyle checks, ano po ang trust ng pag-iimbestiga ng Ombudsman ngayon?
Well, actually, Mr. Speaker, no, to be able to perhaps answer it directly according to the Ombudsman, unang-una, hindi po siya ang naglagay ng 51 million. DBM ang naglagay nun Pangalawa, sinusunod ng Ombudsman ang joint circular ng 2015. Pangatlo, ang sabi ng Ombudsman, kung gustong tanggalin ng Kongreso ang confidential fund, it is up to us para hindi na ma-question pa ang Ombudsman during his term of office. Sabi niya, tanggalin na lang yung confidential fund para hindi na pag-usapan to. Oo, siguro, pwede. Ilagay na lang sa ibang kailangan na pera. Oo, hindi na kinakailangan pang tinatawaging confidential fund dito. Yun ang sabi ng ating kagalang-galang na Ombudsman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That would be, siguro, matutuwa po kami kung mailalagay natin sa mga kinakailangan na mga programa ng ating kasalukuyang gobyerno, lalong-lalo na sa usapin ng agrikultura, pagkain, trabaho, at saka mga necessary na dapat paglagyan natin kung yan ay mapag-uusapan natin na mailagay na lang ang mga confidential funds na ito at kung hindi naman kailangan ng Ombudsman particular. But yun po, gusto lang natin sabihin dito na, Mr. Speaker, siguro maigi ding kailangan, necessary itong mga halimbawa, yung lifestyle checks, disclosure of SALN, at yung mga sa check and balances ng lahat. So, Mr. Speaker, we would like to know kung ano ang pagtingin ng Ombudsman particular dito.
So, Speaker, can I ask for a 1-minute suspension? Sir Speaker, 1-minute suspension po. Kung problema rin sa SALN I have submitted my SALN properly, no? I do not know if the good lady has a problem with that, di ba? But thing is, unang-una, ang sabi ng ating ombudsman, there is actually no law na we should submit the SALN. In fact, yung lifestyle check na yan, during the time of Ombudsman Marcelo, ay nakuha doon sa Hong Kong. Ano? Okay. Now, there is no problem, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, na mag-lifestyle check ang Ombudsman. If there is any authority given by the agency, I will even submit to the lifestyle check. I don't think there is any problem with that, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, checks and balance, makita natin. Pag nag-disclose ng SALN, makikita talaga natin kung ano ang kalagayan. And yung usapin ng lifestyle check, mahalaga din po yun, lalo na sa public officials. This is related to my next question, Mr. Speaker. Yung target po sa output indicator sa anti-corruption program ng Office of the Ombudsman. Output indicator sa anti-corruption program. Tama po ba na 21% lang para sa case build-up at lifestyle checks resulting in the filing of administrative and criminal cases ang meron ang Ombudsman, Mr. Speaker? Ano po yung basis ng 21% output indicator na ito?
Yung sa 21%, Mr. Speaker, yung ba ang katanungan mo?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, output indicator po ito. Target ng output indicator sa anti-corruption program ng Office of the Ombudsman. Kumbaga, Mr. Speaker, mababa po yung 21%. Case build-up sa lifestyle check. Kung sinasabi niyo po na you agree with the lifestyle check, pero ito yung result, 21% lang.
Actually, Mr. Speaker, ang sagot dito is ni-round up lamang ng Ombudsman na 21%, but in reality, 25% ito, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Medyo mababa ito, Mr. Speaker. As a last manifestation, Mr. Speaker, halimbawa, kung wala namang batas sa kasalukuyan hinggil sa lifestyle check ng public officials, hindi naman hangganan, hindi hinahangganan, hindi nire-restrict ang Office of the Ombudsman na gawin ang mandato nito na nakasaad sa konstitusyon para tiyakin ang tamang paggastos ng pondo ng bayan. Na whatever gap na in legislation ay maaari namang i-address via legislation, Mr. Speaker. But in carrying out its constitutional mandate, we expect the Office of the Ombudsman to be more proactive in addressing corruption issues. 21% or 25% as you were saying, tingin po kasi namin matter of life and death po ang paggastos ng pondo ngayon, Mr. Speaker. Lalo't kapos na kapos ang milyon-milyong kababayan natin dahil sa napakataas ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Tapos, barat naman yung pasahod. So, the least that we can do is to ensure the judicious use of public funds that will redound to the direct benefit of the people mired in deep crisis as we speak.
Siguro ang unang tanong ay tungkol din sa confidential funds. Okay. So, ang ombudsman po ba ay entitled sa confidential fund noong mga nakaraang taon, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2020?
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, palagay ko po, ako, bilang personal opinion, personal opinion, hindi ko na kinakailangan pang kausapin ng Ombudsman tungkol dito. Palagay ko, it is needed by the Ombudsman. Why? Because the Ombudsman is an investigative body. Kinakailangan makita po natin ito. Bilang investigative body, kinakailangan po na ng confidential fund. Ang pinag-uusapan lamang ito ginagamit ba ang confidential fund ayon sa paggamit ng Ombudsman? Which is correct. Ginagamit po nila yan. Pero nung araw pa, nung una pa, bago pa lamang si Justice Martinez naupo bilang Ombudsman, meron na pong confidential fund ang ombudsman.
Yes. Sa sinabi niyo po kanina, Mr. Speaker, ang office ng ombudsman ay nilaanan or allocated, merong allocated na budget on the confidential fund. Since, ito lang, ang nag-gather ko lang naman ay since 2018 up to the present.
Yes.
Tama po.
Well, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, hindi ko alam kung bakit napakalaki. No, this is again, Mr. Speaker, my answer comes from my own opinion. Now, I do not know why today, masyado nating pinag-uusapan ng confidential fund. I have been in Congress since 2004. Hindi pinag-uusapan to eh. Ngayon lamang po, masyadong heated ang pag-uusap tungkol sa confidential fund. Hindi ko alam kung bakit, no? Pero the thing is this, ang sabi nga ng ating ombudsman, if it will question the integrity of the ombudsman, ang sabi niya, oo, tanggalin na yung confidential fund. Let Congress remove the confidential fund of the ombudsman if it will only tarnish the integrity of the ombudsman, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, tama po yun. Sinabi po yun ng ombudsman noong nakaraang budget briefing ng Office of the Ombudsman ng mga nakaraang linggo. Speaker, mula noong 2018 hanggang sa ngayon, ay may inilaan na budget ang Kongreso para sa confidential fund ng ating ombudsman. Komento natin sa records natin from GAA 2018 to 2023, meron po talagang inilalaan ang ating Kongreso na budget para sa confidential fund ng ating ombudsman. So totoo naman na meron talagang ginagawang mga investigasyon, siguro may ginagawang mga surveillance, may ginagawang mga iba pang mga related. Budget natin, merong otorisasyon ang Kongreso na gumamit ang ombudsman ng confidential fund.
It is not upon the dictate of the ombudsman kung magkano ang confidential fund ibibigay sa kanila. It was given by the DBM. Pangalawa, gusto pong makita natin kung kailan nag-start po ito. In fact, confidential fund of the ombudsman started in 2005. 2005. Oo. And even today, the ombudsman has complied with all the requirements of the COA circular performing to confidential fund. No audit observation or findings on the use of confidential fund of the office. So, sa akin po, ganito, I think that Congress later, if ever Congress will not remove the 51 million confidential fund, perhaps later, we have the oversight committee in Congress. We could be able to investigate the use of any confidential fund of any agency in government, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you po, Mr. Speaker. So, nililinaw ko lang po, doon sa GAA natin, entitled at nilaanan ng Kongreso ng budget para sa confidential fund, ang Office of the Ombudsman. So, batay po sa expenditure programs, so meron po tayong 2018, actual obligation is 13,451,000. In 2019, ang actual obligation sa confidential fund ng Ombudsman ay 26,951. Sa 2020 po, 16,585,000. And in 2021, there is 13,098,000 pesos. And in 2022, meron po tayong 18,693 na nakatala, na nakalagay po doon sa NEP ng 2020 to 2024 ay actual obligation.
Has complied with all the requirements of the COA. Nasagot na po ito. Pero,
Yes.
ito po ang sabi ng Ombudsman. Upang hindi na pagdudahan ang trabaho ng Ombudsman, at upang for the sake of transparency and accountability, I would suggest the House to remove. Ako na mismo ang sponsor ng budget na ito. I would suggest that the House remove the confidential fund of the Ombudsman.
So, hindi naman po tayo, Mr. Speaker, distinguished sponsor. So, sinasabi naman po natin dito, although sinabi naman niya ng Ombudsman na payag siya na ma-remove. Tin ko lang, sabi po ng ating kagalang-galang na Ombudsman, pag ni-require niyo po ang isang ahensya ng gobyerno na may confidential fund, na mag-submit ng resibo, ay hindi na po confidential fund yon. Kasi gusto ko lang pong makuha dito ay yung pamamaraan na kapag ikaw ay entitled ng confidential fund, merong pamamaraan sa joint circular kung paano ito ililiquidate. Okay? So, nandiyan po yan sa 4.12 ng JC. Disbursement from the confidential fund shall be supported with documentary evidence of payment among others, which shall be submitted to ICFAO in a sealed envelope signed by the SDO. 4.13, disbursement from IF shall be supported with documentary evidence of payment in a sealed envelope signed by the SDO, kept at all time in the vault in his office. The same may be inspected by ICFAO or
Mr.
officers,
Speaker,
personnel, duly authorized in
Mr.
writing
Speaker,
by COA.
before our colleague continue on the reading of the joint circular, I have the copy of this, Mr. Speaker.
Okay.
At kanina, binanggit ko na po ito eh. When I was asked the question, I already mentioned this and cited the joint circular, Mr. Speaker. And the Ombudsman is faithfully adhering to the circular and will faithfully adhere. Oo, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. Pasensya ka na, medyo
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
ininterrupt kita.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Mr. Speaker. So, ito po, no, nakalagay dyan sa page 8, kung paano po yung disbursements at saka yung accounting nitong confidential fund. So, kung ito lang po ay nasusunod, wala naman po tayong, naman po tayong magiging problema. So, meron pong na-obligate ang Office of the Ombudsman from 2018 to 2022 na 88,778,000 pesos. So, ito po ba ay disbursed na?
Yes. Disbursed na po ito.
So, kung ito po ay disbursed na, okay na po yun, ano? Kaya lang po, kaya ko po binabanggit yung sinasabi natin na mga provision or mga provision dito sa JC on how to disburse at pagre-report nitong confidential fund dahil, Mr. Speaker, nababahala kami na hindi talaga naliliquidate. At nababahala kami na kung naririnig ito ng ibang mga ahensya, especially from the Office of the Ombudsman, na sinabi niya yung mga binanggit ko kanina, merong 88.778 million na sinabi naman ay na-disburse na, na-obligate at na-disburse na, o na-liquidate na. At ngayong taon na to, meron na namang 31 million na confidential fund. For the next year, meron na naman pong 51.468 million na confidential fund. So nababahala po kami na kapag hindi natin sinunod itong nasa joint circular ng COA at iba pang mga ahensya, ay baka gayahin po tayo ng mga ahensya.
Mr. Speaker, ang sinasabi lang po ng Ombudsman natin ay hindi po resibo ang sinasubmit, kundi, ang sabi nga po sa joint circular, documentary evidence. Yes. Ito, hawak-hawak ko po dito yung pro forma na binigay. Hindi po ito pro forma ng Ombudsman, kundi binigay po ito. Ito ang sinasubmit. At compliant po ang Ombudsman dito. Tinan po natin maigi sapagkat ako, ramdam ko din ang damdamin, Mr. Speaker, ng ating colleague. No? At hayaan mo sa ating kagalang-galang na congresswoman ng ACT, sama mo ko na mag-iimbestiga pag ginamit ng Ombudsman ng mali ang kanilang confidential fund kung ibibigay po natin ito. Ayun, the thing is this. Again, let me reiterate the request of the Ombudsman. If this will stain the integrity of the office of the Ombudsman, kung merong pagdududa na yung tinatawag nating anti-corruption body ng gobyerno ay magiging corrupt din tungkol dito, pagdududa, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, ako mismo ang magsasabi, kahit na ayaw pong tanggalin ni Congressman Paduano ang confidential fund, ako na rin po magsasabi, tanggalin po natin itong 51 million na confidential fund ng Ombudsman. Point of order, I don't think that it is proper in this body right now, talking about the budget, to make a motion.
Third time, Mr. Speaker, magmumove po ba ang sponsor natin sa budget ng ng Ombudsman na tanggalin itong confidential funds?
Mr. Speaker, I hope that Your Honor is not putting me on the spot, Mr. Speaker. But it would be the decision of the body. Whoever makes the motion. Now, if our colleague is asking me if I will make a motion at the proper time, Mr. Speaker, I would not in any way answer now positively because I do not want to be put on the spot, Mr. Speaker. Perhaps we could be able to continue on in tackling the budget of the Ombudsman.
And I don't want din po na to put you on the spot. Pero
Na dapat talaga dito ang ating tanungin, yung COA. Tanungin atin ang ating COA, compliant ba ang Ombudsman sa pag-submit ng liquidation tungkol sa confidential fund? I think that the COA will be able to answer that. Kung hindi po sinagot ng COA yan, hindi po magiging maganda ang sitwasyon. The thing that must be realized here is this, na ang sasabi na ng Ombudsman, na kapag mayroon pang question sa COA report, pag mayroon po pang hindi talaga pinupuntuhan na tama, that ought not to be published. Pero, pagtapos na lahat po at wala ng question dito, then it must be published. Dapat lang na i-publish po ito.